wedding. Today's topic, that is the big fat Indian wedding. Weddings in India vary according to the region, the community, and the personal preferences of the bride and groom. They are festive occasions in India and in most cases celebrated with extensive decorations, color, dresses, music, dance, costumes, and rituals that depend on the community, reason, and religion of the bride and the groom, as well as their preferences. India celebrates about 10 million weddings per year, of which about 80% are Hindu weddings. Weddings are a major business in India. According to a report by KPMG in 2017, the Indian wedding industry is estimated to be around 40 to 50 billion in size, dollars in size, 40 to 50 billion dollars in size. It's the second largest wedding market after USA, which is at 70 billion dollars. While the industry is a very unorganized with small and medium scale businesses, there are also corporates who are trying to top this industry. The prime factors for growth in the industry are the rise of middle class in India and overall booming economy and a use of social media. It is estimated that the cost of an Indian wedding ranges between rupees 5 lakhs to rupees 50 million. An Indian is likely to spend 1/5 of his total lifetime wealth on a wedding. So to discuss this very, very important topic today, the big fat Indian wedding, because we have seen very, very big fat Indian weddings, although in metros, but sometimes even in small cities. And we see how the vulgar exhibition of the money or the wealth, how they show off. So we would like to discuss this topic today. And we have a very elite, knowledgeable, those who have seen the life socially and those who knows the legal implications of this. Panelists are with us. And I would like to invite my first panelist guest. He is Advocate 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝍍𝐄. Advocate 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝍍𝐄 is a renowned social activist and Supreme Court lawyer. He is practicing law for last 42 years on the civil side. He appeared in Supreme Court and Allahabad High Court in several important cases. He is active on various social platforms of the city of Agra. He filed several PILs in Supreme Court regarding the RTI Act, etc. Recently also he filed a petition related to road safety. His large number of articles were published in law journals. His articles were also published in many newspapers on various subjects, including environment, RTI, culture, etc. He has varied interest, especially in RTI and environment. Welcome, Advocate 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝍍𝐄 on our show. Advocate 𝐂𝐂𝐑𝐔 𝍍𝐄, you are very active. Apart from your practice, you are a social activist and you are filing so many PILs, which are and writing so many articles on RTI and culture and environment. And today's topic is having a socio-economic impact on the society. So we would like to know your views on the big fat Indian wedding. Advocate 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝍍𝐄, please.
Thank you, Mr. Lal, for inviting me, for giving me a wonderful opportunity to share my views. Big fat Indian wedding. The topic is quite interesting. It is a wedding being a part of the social fabric and the essential social fabric. The question is, what should be its size? How should it be conducted? Is it, as you have said, vulgar exhibition of money, extravaganza? How far we are able to justify that we spend, as you have pointed out, 1/5 of our wealth in a marriage? I believe that while marriage is essential to keep the society united, but spending enormous money and money out of your proportion, out of your financial means, is ultimately causing and is leading to a social evil. Because with the you have the financial constraints, but when it comes to marriage and when it comes to marriage of your daughter, you spend money, and you are forced to spend money. How far it is justified? Whether the marriage should be a public function, inviting 5,000 people, 10,000 people, as you have pointed out in South, there can be 25,000 people also. And in North, it can be 2,000 people, 1,000 people. So is it a public function, or marriage is a private function, which we should see that it is performed with our friends and close relatives? Though it is now a part of a social practice, but we need to give a thought. We need to introspect how much we must spend and to whom we should invite. We invite such a large number of people that the host does not have the opportunity to interact with them. They come, they eat, and they go. But whether the host is able to have a word with them, hardly. Then what is this kind of function where the host is not able to interact? You have come only to witness a program and to eat and to go. They don't even wait for the marriage procession to come. In North India, since I belong to North India, I see that the marriage processions come very late. They come by 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, even 12 o'clock. And by that time, all the invitees and guests, after having their dinner, they leave. What is this purpose of inviting such guests who do not remain present even at the time when when they can see the bride? Point is, how much? What should be the size of the marriage? In my personal opinion, though it is against the social practice presently, we should restrict the number of invitees. Number of invitees being restricted, you are able to attend your invitees well. You are able to have an environment where you feel that a private function is going to be performed. Therefore, the first thing we must consider is the number of invitees which we invite in a marriage function. Secondly, how much we should spend money. Should it be a show business? Should it be a way to show that, see, I have that much of money that I can spend, and whom the money goes where? It goes to the caterers, it goes to the decorators. It ultimately, whether it goes to your daughter to whom you are marrying, no. You spend enormous money on the marriage function, and finally your daughter takes very little things with her to her bridal home. Therefore, to spend much amount on fooding, in catering, in decoration, how far that is justified when finally the amount that goes to your daughter is very less. Therefore, I don't believe that it should be a show business. You should spend that much of amount. Rather, it is better that you give more money if you want to give to your daughter. That would last. That will be useful for him for so many years to come. Therefore, instead of spending money on decoration, fooding, and looking after your invitees, better to give to your daughter. It is a wastage of money, in fact. And thirdly, I would also like to point out that nowadays, when there's so much of matrimonial disturbances, so many marriages going to break, then what's the good use of spending money today, and tomorrow you see that something untoward happens, the marriage is broken, or there is matrimonial dispute, then your money, hard-earned money, as you have said, 1/5 of your total wealth, where will that go? Therefore, better to conserve your money, better to keep your money for better days, for spending it in a better manner. Moreover, we should also see that we spend more money on upbringing of our children. We invest money instead of on marriages and functions and Indian marriages, weddings. We should invest more money on the education of your children, education of your daughters. If they are brought up, they are made self-dependent and financially they are independent, then that will help them to lead to a more decent life. And in case they find that the marriage does not work, they are able to stand on their feet. Therefore, these factors, that whether you spend so much of money and in the days to come you have no money with them, with you, your daughter does not have money, then ultimately it would lead to greater difficulties. Therefore, in my opinion, we should have a small size of marriage. It should look like a private function. It should be a more decent one where the host can interact and talk to the guests. Money should be given to the daughters. They can use it in their future. We should spend more money, or invest more money on their education, on bringing them financial freedom, and ultimately inviting 2,000, 4,000, 5,000 or 10,000 people will not be remembered by anybody. How many marriages do we remember? No. We have attended hundreds of marriages. Hardly we remember any marriage. What was the decoration? What was the food? What was the... This is all we forget. Then for spending money for such functions, which we forget, no good use. And marriage should work. Marriage, more important is how we find the suitable match, how marriage compatibility is there. Marriage should not be an industry. Nowadays, you want to marry your son or marry your daughter, you go to the matrimonial bureaus. How far that is justified? The society is very lagging behind. They are not coming forward to see that your relations, your friends get suitable match, their daughters or sons. Therefore, this system of marriage bureaus coming into operation, and they're charging money in percentage, say 1% or 2% of the total expenditure. What does that lead to us? And the dowry system again, the marriage, in so many marriages they consider money, how much money you would spend in the marriage. So these evils that have crept in the society gradually, and that ultimately makes the parents to think that their daughters are a burden, because if they don't have the financial resources, how they will spend the money. Therefore, the marriage should be very decent and simple instead of an extravaganza affair. With these words, I would like to say that we need to consider this aspect seriously. Though it is a social practice, the changes will come gradually, but the programs like yours, this one, we keep thinking that definitely one day the things will change, and we can make this marriage functions more decent, more economical, more satisfying, and better use of financial resources. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Advocate Jain, for giving your views. And Advocate Jain is very, very clear in his thoughts. He says these big fat Indian weddings are not setting any benchmark. Rather, they are spoiling the society, because then those parents of the bride, even if they are not having the money, also they have to borrow, they have to show off. And according to Advocate Jain, in spite of big fat weddings, many times the matrimonial dispute arise, and at that time this money is totally waste. And secondly, he says that how many people are going to remember what wedding you have done? So what for? Instead of that, try to give more education to your daughter or the son. Try to give them those facilities which they require, instead of spending money on those unnecessary things. He also mentioned about the marriage bureaus, which are working nowadays very much popular. And according to him, they are charging percentage-wise on the total expenditure. What for? And he says the society is not at all involved. Rather, these types of marriage bureaus, the decorators, and all those things, we are spending money. So he's of the view that the wedding or ceremony it should be very simple, but with in such a way that at least the host can interact with all the guests, which in this big fat Indian weddings, they have no chance to interact with each other, and only the wastage of money for decorator or the caterer and all those things. Thank you very much, Advocate Jain. And definitely when I will come in the next round, I will ask some questions on this. And he also mentioned, yes, that is a social issue. One has to see that how it can change, but it will take time. But he says, if we will not try, then how it will change. So it's a good thing that we have started trying to change this thing. And he's hopeful that one day this evil will also go. Thank you very much, Advocate Jain, for giving your views. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Dr. Ruksan Hassan. Dr. Ruksan Hassan is a renowned psychologist, trainer, coach, motivational speaker, special educator for early childhood education and development. He is specialized counselor for the drug abuser and alcoholic with an experience of 28 years in rehabilitation center. She holds a PhD in social work and humanity from USA. She is the postgraduate in Master of Arts from Mysore University, postgraduate in diabetic health educator from St. John's, Bangalore, and postgraduate in human rights, New Delhi. Her second PhD from Mother Teresa University in counseling psychology. Presently, she is doing her third PhD in applied science from Rajasthan University. She completed her research in a project about CSW in Bangalore city under Women and Child Development, Government of Karnataka. She has done research about addictive personality, child development, psychology, CDP. It was done with the Children of Observation Home Boys, Government of Karnataka. For the outstanding service towards humanity, she was awarded Indra Priya Darshan Award. She is the nominee of Kittur Rani Chennamma, Government of Karnataka, as the best social worker. She was awarded by Art Mantram Bangalore for Go Green Bangalore. She won Women's Achievers Award of N.A. Harris Foundation Bangalore. She has presented her papers at many international conferences at Turkey, Istanbul University, and Egypt, trained teachers in Delhi, Mumbai, Chennai, Hyderabad, Pune, and all over Karnataka. She was the counselor in charge of Karnataka State Counseling Center as an advisor for the Karnataka State Minority Commission 2011-2012, and also has designed pilot project for the Government of India and Government of Karnataka. She is the founder chairperson of the first rehabilitation center. She is the first minority woman in India to have started such a unique, challenging program. She designed mobile computer and training units with the help of Ministry of Labour, which benefits for the minority girls who are denied education for various reasons. Her title is Smiley Girl of the Town. She builds a new dawn in the darkest dusk just with the positive smile. Welcome, Dr. Ruksan Hassan on our show. Dr. Ruksan Hassan, you being a activist, I must say, a counselor, and you are doing so much work for the youth, and especially who are addictive of alcohol or the drugs. But because you are socially so much involved and you are educating the people for the so many evils, and you belongs to the South India, because we have tried to have a balanced views. So we have taken the view from Advocate Jain. He is from Agra, which is a North India. And now you are from Bangalore, again, a place in South India. So we would like to know your views on the big fat Indian wedding. Dr. Ruksan Hassan, please.
Yes, a very good morning to all of you. And I can see all the two beautiful ladies also with me. I'm so sure they are going to be very against me now. Okay, Lal Goel sir, very good morning and thank you for taking this issue. Usually you take issues where nobody talks. And I would only like to say that, if there is a continuation, there will be a big change. Well, if you have to talk about a big fat wedding, Advocate Jain sir has already told about what should be the size and what should be the thing. If you ask me honestly, whether it's a big fat wedding or whether it is in competition, I would honestly say that I belonging to a Muslim community where they have about 5 days function. Okay, pehle haldi ho jati hai, fir then it is mehendi, then it is nikah, then it is julwa, then again it is walima. On this 5 days, I think in each function, except the nikah, the other function, 500 people are invited. And in nikah, 5,000 people are invited. So in case if I have to do it, I will just stick to one community's big fat wedding so that, what I know, I will talk about it. What they have been doing that, okay, Mr. A has done this, now Mr. B will do something more and Mr. C will do something more. And I have also seen now the competition, I don't want to take it more into thing because once it is competition, you always know that, if I have to go break the record, I have to do something better than the previous one. The thing what is happening, the disasters what is happening, I think everybody is aware of the wedding which took place last year in Adyar Bhavan here in Mangalore. And I think the entire expenditure for the wedding was some 50 lakhs. Besides the jewelry, besides the clothing, besides the other thing. And there were, I think, about 10,000 people invited for that wedding. What happened to the girl the next day? I mean, the same day. The girl got a panic attack and she was not able to tolerate the kind of heat and the people. She got a heart attack and died the same night. Nobody is worried about it. Only thing I wanted people to see, okay, my daughter's wedding and see how many people have come. I've invited half the town. So this is one disaster. This I think everybody in Mangalore knows. The second thing what I would like to tell is, the girl is not interested. The girl is in love with someone else. And the parents are forcing the girl by giving this big fat wedding and putting her into a pressure that because of this, you have to get married to this boy and you have to. How long did that wedding long? We are talking about the size of the people where we have to do. It is no. We have to talk about the two individuals who are going to start up a new life with two families. So this is the most important thing instead of a big fat wedding or a big competitive wedding. If we are forgetting all those things and we are talking which are the decorators who is going to decorate the hall, the veranda of the hall, the walking area of the hall, what is the cost of the decoration? 2 lakhs to 20 lakhs. Today we are talking India is a poor country. No, not at all. You see a wedding in US, you see a wedding in Canada, you see a wedding in UK. In 10 lakhs, they'll finish the entire wedding, but here only for the decoration. So this is the standard of our weddings. And how many days it is longing? 5 days, 6 days, 7 days. For what? Just 2 people are getting involved and they are getting into a family startup. When you send your child to the school, do you have such function? When your daughter is completing her graduation, do you do this? When your daughter is going for the first day of thing, what happens? We are not doing all these things. And why only these 2 things when they are just going to begin something with so much of noise? That the child, the 2 children who are just into adulthood, they are together. And when they get into this, they have so much of pressure that they are not able to talk. I, being a family counselor, have worked 7 years in Mahila Police Station, Bangalore. I've seen cases where they are in love for 9 years, married only 3 years, and they want a divorce. I've seen the general manager's daughter who had a grand function in all the topmost 5-star hotels. The marriage didn't last even for 7 days. Here, the big fat hen, whatever is the big fat hen, the fat also is that much. And the fat is indigestible. The more you're trying to put, we parents are responsible for it. The children are not. The bride and the groom are not. We parents are responsible. It is our fakeism. It is our grandiosity what we are trying to show off. I've also seen cases where the man is having 4 daughters. First daughter is getting married. His retirement money is gone. He has mortgaged the house and there is no savings. What are you trying to prove? What about the next 3 girls? So there are so many things what we have to immediately look into it and see that, yeah, this is where I'm going to correct. The child is never asking. The bride or the groom is never asking, we want so many people, we want this kind of thing. Nobody is asking. We, for our grandiosity, for my pride, for my show-offness, I am doing it. As a parent, I am doing it. Here you have to see who has to be corrected and where the correction should be there. So this is a very important question. Otherwise, there'll be so many disasters because of the stress and things. You are starting up something with so much of stress. Supposing, I'll just give you a very, very small example. If I'm wearing a jewelry, which is of American diamond, I will be bindas, I will not be worried about. The moment I'm wearing the jewelry, which is pure diamond, what happens every time I'm conscious whether the jewelry is there, whether something is not falling. That is the kind of stress. You don't enjoy the moment because the stress has been built up so much that you don't have the pure moment of enjoyment because you're worried who's looking at me, who's not looking. The nikah sari is 1 lakh and it is about 10 kgs. The weight of the sari is 10 kgs. How will that girl carry for such a long time? And there is a queue where, to meet the bride and the groom. How long will she carry? How long will her body tolerate this? Nobody is thinking about all those things. Because I have seen at the ground level, the disasters which have been taking because of this big fat wedding, which I call it as, a competitive wedding. And I will tell, okay, so-and-so family did this. Now you see this family will do this. Destination weddings, weddings on the mountain, weddings in the air, weddings in an aircraft, weddings in the sea. So many for what? Be fake, but don't have that fakeism that you start this fakeism for a pure life. For a pure life. You're starting with 2 souls are going to join together to become 1 soul. Please don't give them so much of pressure. Now they'll happen, for my wedding, so many people come. Now, if I say that I don't want to stay with my husband, what happens? So that girl or that boy, even the boy, I'm not talking about only the girl or the boy. I have also known, this was the biggest joke for me. The boy has taken 10 lakhs loan, additional to the home loan what he had, what the parents had done, 10 lakhs loan only to buy the gifts for the girl. When you start something new, start free. Already with so much of pressure, with so much of loans, with so much of monthly EMIs, what are you going to prove? What will your wife do with that 10 lakhs gold? How much interest are you paying? I said, things cannot go beyond this. And today the marriage is just about 2.5 years, 3 years. They have a baby. The pressure has built twice. And the loan amount also has built twice. What is happening to the boy? The boy is just 30 years, but he looks 45. His lifespan is coming down. His joy is coming down. Enjoy the moment to what you are. 1 plate meal, the 1 plate food what you get, costing about 3,000 rupees. If it is for 1,000, please calculate. And how much can you eat? Can you eat 1,000 rupees food at one time? No. 70% of the food is wasted. People ask me, Ruksana, you are so much into the social contact. We have not seen you in any weddings. Because the moment I go to the wedding getting wasted, I will call them and I have to tell. And nobody likes that. So better avoid. I never attend any such wedding. Any wedding at home, a poor man's wedding, I'm there. And you give such big gifts. I have also told the people who are getting married, they don't need gifts. The people who are in hospital, make that thing, of a thing. Just take an envelope and leave it. That is the place where you need money. That is the place where you need those blessings. It's not that, okay, I have come, Ruksana and family, 5,000. No, not necessary. So there are so many things what we have to discuss in this. Not only discussion, it is, I have to take that responsibility that I see that my daughter gets married like that and my son gets married like that. My anniversary has become another fat big anniversary. I think the next episode should be that 25th anniversary, 20th anniversary, 35th anniversary. So all this has become a kind of fakeism in our struggling life. 80% of Indian population is just struggle. Let us not talk about the 20%. The Ambanis, the Mitchells, the Vikrams, the Birlas. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the people like you and me. So this is where it is. Instead of saying it is a big fat wedding, I have to say it is a big competition among the small world. So this is where we lack. And I can tell you about the disasters, what I have been handling in this as a family counselor, how it happens. The end result of this is bigger disaster that soon after their wedding, the girl is pregnant, she becomes a mother, and she understands that this man is not the right man for me. Victim is the child. As a parent, I didn't understand my child, and she gave birth to another child and she's not able to understand. There are so many single marriages, parents because of this big fact. So there is a lot what we have to say that yes, it is now this moment. Because if I boycott such marriages, it makes no difference to them. We as a group have to do it and say that no, let us do a small change. Let us just invite 100 people and let us see that, the limited food. However you are hungry, you can only eat 50 grams. So make those calculations and be simple. Don't be worried about what the world is talking about. When I did when the stage was not decorated for my daughter's wedding, she's highly educated. She called so many people. Even the stage was not decorated because they had asked for 5 lakhs. I took that 5 lakhs and I gave it to 5 poor people, 1 lakh for their wedding. I was stopped. I didn't give a, but now they talk good about it. So don't be worried about you getting humiliated or you being, talked behind backbites. Don't be worried. Make a first step and see that there is a big change in this big fat wedding. With this, I conclude, sir.
Thank you very much, Dr. Ruksan Hassan, for giving your views. I know that you are known as a social crusader and nobody would like to hear your views or even invite you in the wedding. But this is the fact. How much wastage we are doing in the wedding. And Dr. Ruksan Hassan is very clear. She says, just look up what is going to be happen to the young children, the bride and the bridegroom. And I just want to say something about the South Indian wedding, and especially in Bangalore, where I am nowadays. I have never seen in North India such type of wedding where the number of guests are minimum 2,000 to 3,000 and it goes up to 25,000. Now, just imagine 10,000 on an average, as she mentioned, 10,000 people to handle in a span of, say, 3 or 4 hours. What will be the condition of the bride and bridegroom, and how the parents of the bride and bridegrooms are attending those guests. But this is a tradition which they are following. Similarly, in North India, we have seen another tradition where the food spread is so much. Once I attended a wedding and I could not count the varieties. It might be about 1,000 varieties. at least 50 types of salads and 200 types of sweets and what. I asked the father of the bride, I said, can you taste each and everything? One spoon only. You cannot. Then why you are doing this? This is a plus point in South India I have seen. In Mangalore, again I will mention. There I have seen wedding, 5 items, 7 items, maximum I think 9 items. That's it. At least. But their number of people are so much. So there are pros and cons in both sides, South Indian and North Indian wedding. But thank you very much, Dr. Ruksan Hasan, for giving your views. And I am sure now, after listening your views, the people will start inviting you, but keep you away from the food table so that you will not go that side and you will not preach them. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Advocate 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒. Advocate 𝐂𝐂𝐑𝐔 is the Central Government Counsel at Delhi High Court, New Delhi. Advocate 𝐂𝐂𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒 is an advocate registered with Bar Council of Delhi in 2009. She is an empaneled arbitrator with Delhi International Arbitration Center in DFC. She is also a special counsel for Uttarakhand State in Supreme Court and National Green Tribunal. She established NB Law Firm in 2016, primarily dealing with the family law cases. Advocate 𝐂𝐂𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒, you have heard Advocate Jain as well as Dr. Ruksan Hasan. And you are also dealing with family law cases. And you are in North India, and you are a place called Delhi, which is, in Hindi they say, Delhi Dilwalon ki hai. And the big fat weddings are taking place in Delhi. And I remember once I went there to attend a wedding, 60,000 weddings were taking place on one single day in Delhi. Total traffic jam, no place to move. And it is a nightmare for the guests to come to the venue and to go back because of that thing. But it's a custom and whatnot. Now, we would like to know your views about the big fat Indian wedding. Advocate 𝐂𝐂𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐼𝐒, please.
Thank you. Thank you, Lal Goel ji, for inviting me for this very unique discussion. Hardly we talk about it. And as my learned friend, Mr. Jain, and social activist, Dr. Ruksana ji, has already covered many things with regards to this. However, I do not hold any distinct view from them. This big fat Indian wedding, though definitely I would not support this, but it is a very big industry for various it is giving jobs to people. It is giving, there are marriage bureaus, definitely marriage bureaus now. The more they are spreading, their way of charging money is getting, different. They're asking for, earlier there was like some fee to be deposited, because matchmaking has definitely become difficult. Because nowadays kids are studying till like 26, 28, and then they do not find any match in their own vicinity, in their own colleges or friend circle. So then they look for, their kind of match. So these marriage bureaus are doing great job. But at the same time, it is becoming so commercialized, which should not be encouraged, but then people are left with no option. Rather, I have seen in cases wherein these marriage brokers are even taking percentages to settle the matter when the divorce comes. That is the new trend they have developed. So, pehla to liya hai fees in the beginning. Now, for settlement of the matters also, they'll become biased. They'll be at one side and they'll try to be the mediator in between. And they would like to, before any case gets registered, they would like to settle it and then also take a percentage on the alimony what the girl gets. So that is very sad, but they are doing this job very enthusiastically. Then there are these designers which are mushrooming like anything. Everybody wants to wear a designer clothes on their wedding, on the function. It's like a dream thing for them. So they are also getting jobs. They are also, that industry is also coming up. Then these event planners, See, India, earlier, anybody who's taking a very good degree, maybe in engineering, maybe in maybe MBBS, maybe anything, so then that person is hired abroad. Now, there are some people who are very good administrators, management people, they're very good in communication. They don't have any degrees, they've not studied, they've not had any professional degrees. So they are becoming, they're coming up for these kind of, they're opting these kind of things. They're handling the events, marriage planners, and they charge huge. Even if I talk about the decorators, I've just attended one wedding wherein the decoration was of around 7 CR. So that took almost a month for that setup to be constructed and decorated. So just imagine the kind of workers working there who are engaged in that business, and they are definitely getting job out of it. They're getting money out of it. So it has a pros and cons, Then these musicians, these bands, there are upcoming bands which are coming now on a wedding, even for a sangeet. They are calling big brands, big people. Anup Jaluta ji ko bula rahe hain for a small Jagran ceremony or for a small chowki ceremony. So they are also getting work. Otherwise, they were like jobless in COVID. Then these destinations, there are some destinations which were like unexplored. So now people are reaching out to those places. Again, that tourism which was closed during COVID, but yes, Indian tourism was being explored in COVID, and some weddings also were happening there. A lot of weddings happened out of India also, but within India, there are some unexplored places and destinations which are also coming up. Then these, earlier, what we remember in weddings, we used to go, they were like our elders, our mothers, our grandmothers, they were sitting on a dholak and singing some folk music and something. Now there are like stand-up comedians which are called on a wedding, mentalists which are called on wedding. They come, and so more of it is like a experience what people want to give to their, if we call about North Indian weddings and destination wedding, it is not about the number. It is just about like few bunch of people, maybe 100, 200. They would take it to some destination, 3 days, they'll stay there and spend definitely crores of rupees, but on an experience. They live there for like 3 days, interact, do many things. But yes, those are memorable times what I'm saying is it has pros and cons. So now if we talk about, there are weddings above 100 CR as well. And it is mostly of big, like Dr. Ruksan ji said, Adanis, Ambanis, and Hindujas and Reddys. So these are spending. But at the same time, they have their own charitable trusts also. They are doing a lot of work for Indians, underprivileged people also. So what we can do about it, it cannot be just controlled. It cannot be just boycotted like that. It is such a thing that a woman starts thinking about her daughter's wedding from the day she is born. She starts collecting, a mother starts collecting her stuff. Even if I'm not talking about the very lower strata of the society, even if it is a high strata, lower strata, whatever, it is like a dream. Then at the same time, in some communities, boys are welcomed in the family just because they are kind of the paychecks for them. If a boy is born, then that means this much amount we can ask for it. So now, when it is about expenditure on the wedding, and then second is about the dowry. There is a very, very dim and slim line between those two things. So even Supreme Court is talking about in various judgments, when it is about expenditure, then why can't, of course, expenditure is from both the sides, from the boy side and from the girl side. Then why can't they give a declaration to some commission that this is the amount we would be spending, so that there is because ultimately when these cases come to courts, and if we are talking about big fat Indian weddings, for those these cases are all about recovery of money. So why recovery of money when you have spent on your own with your own wish and desires? Then what is the need? How dowry point also is coming in, because those were the gifts given. So I think if there are some private bills also pending in Lok Sabha, which is talking about a curb on Indian weddings, and they are proposing that if whatever you are spending, just give 10% to underprivileged. Agreed, that is a very good thought. But what I believe, there should be a pre-marriage counseling on each and every aspect, so that, as Dr. Hassan said, that a woman, that a girl who's getting married, maybe she's not interested in that wedding. So a pre-marriage counseling, if that concept comes in our country, I am not talking about prenup agreements to be made valid, but still, if there is some kind of counseling that happens, and in a structured way, then these all things can be talked about. Even our Sikh community is not inclined towards, they from 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒, there are various people who plead to the Sikh community that don't spend so much of money in showcasing your strength, in showcasing your culture like this. There are other ways of spending money. But if I talk about money spending, then it is a lot of adjustment of cash money, which is giving a parallel cash economy a rather boost. Because when these cases come to court, and when under 91 CRPC we ask about the proofs of how much expenditure you have done, so then it would be like not even like 20%, 10% bhi nahi hota. So it is what they are doing is, maybe they need to adjust their black money. So that's why also they are doing it, and otherwise they can't do anything about it. So there are like various reasons why these are happening and why these won't be curbed so easily. So I think any structural thing coming through the Law Commission of India, then it would help people. It would. It's not about completely boycotting. Of course, people have their dreams and they should follow their dreams and they should make their weddings memorable. Okay, that is fine. Person who can afford should definitely go for it. But at the same time, if a counseling happens, and a lot of marriages, when they are coming for divorces, that would help them. Either it will reduce divorce rates, or it will help them spending money at the time of wedding and how that should be spent. So I think those structured measures from the Law Commission of India would definitely help.
Okay, thank you very much, Advocate Banga, for giving your views. Although I differ with one view, she says this in a big fat wedding is engaging lots of workers, job creation, lots of agencies. If it is like this, then this organ transplant, if we will see, if we will go for the illegal way, it can also engage lots of, it can also create lots of job creation. Then all the thieves who are working, they will be also engaged doing theft. So my point is very clear. Why we are setting up such a benchmark, then just imagine those who are not of that means, their child, their girl, they also have a dreams, and when they see on the television or the film on the movies the big fat wedding, which are like recently we have seen one wedding of a very famous film actress, 𝐂𝐀𝐑𝐔 𝐍𝐄𝐖𝐒. Now, it was shown in such a way, it was a topic on all the main channels. Now, just imagine the fathers or the mothers or the parents' mental condition of a girl, and those dreams of those girls. Everybody would like to go for their dreams, but is it possible in India? Not, it is not possible. So what we are showing, where we are taking the society, we are taking the society in such a way that even the father feels, okay, if I will do something hanky-panky, I will also get some money, I will spend money on my wedding of my daughter. So this is also one of the aspects. But what Advocate Banga has mentioned, that is a very good point. She says that the counseling is required. And the counseling is not only for the making mentally prepared the girl or the boy, but also they should understand their responsibility. And they should not go in this type of thing that how much money we have to spend. And as she mentioned, that the cases are increasing and there is no proof because it's creating a parallel economy. So she says the law council or commission should come out with some guidelines, at least to curb those things. Thank you very much, Advocate Banga. When I will come next, I will definitely ask some questions which may be not pleasant, but definitely I would like to take your views. Thank you very much. Now I would like to invite my next panelist guest, and she is Dr. Priya Darshan. Dr. Priya Darshan is Mrs. World Supermodel 2019. Dr. Priya Darshan was crowned as Mrs. World Supermodel 2019 in a prestigious beauty pageant organized at Bangkok, Thailand. Dr. Priya Darshan was also awarded with the subtitle Miss Goodness Ambassador. She is professionally a doctor running a diagnostic center, Harsha Modern Diagnostics. She is the director of Modern Medical Center and also the founder of Soul Beat Wellness, a wellness center. She is marketing the natural body products like natural face packs, hair oil, shampoos, soaps, hair conditioner, face bars, etc. She was honored with India Healthcare Award in 2018 at Delhi. She was awarded with Young Business Entrepreneur Award. She is also awarded with Sadhana Achiever Award recently. She is working for women empowerment and women health. More than 500 free health camps and health talks were organized by her in and around Mangalore. She was the president of the First Lady Lion Club Kaveri of District 317D in year 2016-17. Welcome, Dr. Priya Darshan on our show. Dr. Priya Darshan, you have heard Advocate Jain, Dr. Ruksana Hassan, and Advocate Banga. All have given their views, and they all feel, especially the two earlier panelists, feel that the big fat weddings, Indian weddings, are like evil in the society. Although Advocate Banga also supports their views, but she is having some caveat or reservations. She says they are also creating lots of jobs, lots of opportunities. And she says that those who have money, they want to show, not only show, but they want to give the experience to the guests which they are inviting. Now, you being a Mrs. World Supermodel yourself, and you are also got that subtitle of Miss Goodness Ambassador. And you are doing lots of social work. You are doing many free health checkups and for the women empowerment. And you belongs to South India, and especially when we are talking of Mangalore, you are from Mangalore. We would like to know your views on the big fat Indian wedding. Dr. Priya Darshan, please.
Good morning, sir, and all the panelists who are here. So first and foremost, a very good topic to discuss big fat wedding. Which has become now a competition, fashion, and a trend altogether. And it's become, it's kind of going to be a disaster maybe if it continues the same way, because it's a concern. In Mangalore, I just wanted to give one example. In first wave of the COVID, I mean, after the first wave of the COVID, there was one wedding which I had to attend. They invited almost 200 to 250 people, but 200 to 150 were there. But the thing is, the wedding expenditure was more than 40 to 50 lakhs. And I know the family since many years, and I know mother is a beautician, father, he don't have a proper job, but the daughter wanted her wedding to be a very, very grand wedding, and it's her dream itself. That's what the mother told me. So I was really shocked. Only for 150 people in a very big, very huge venue with the lot many lightings, lot many decorations. It's just a couple has to stand on a stage. They have to be on the stage. The stage is comprising of having more than 50 to 100 people. To such a big stage was arranged. Decoration was so much. Then I was just thinking, like, how is it possible to that lower middle class family, what they must be doing? Then at the end, after the wedding, I had to happened to talk to the mother of the bride. Then the whole thing came out. What she said is, my daughter insisted, even the groom insisted to have the fairy tale wedding, where she wanted to keep it as a memory. And I just asked her how you all managed this. It was a really big wedding, right? And what she said is they took a huge loan of almost 25 to 30 lakhs of loan. And that loan has to be, now to be cleared by those two people going to abroad and working there for another 2 to 3 years. That's how they can manage this. So just imagine, so the way, people don't even understand. Is it required? Wedding is some, as Ruksan said, it is the common, getting into, two souls getting one, that's the value of marriage. But this has become a trend. It's just become a show off. I wanted to show myself, see how capable I am, how, I just wanted to know the other people or the society that I have that capacity. Even though you don't have proper food to eat inside, what is the condition of the family inside, you are not bothered, but you just wanted to show outside that, we just live the way, very posh. That's become a show off now. It's not at all, something very traditional. It's not become it's of a family matter. It has just become a very fashionable thing nowadays. And the things like, pre-wedding shoots, then bachelor parties, bride-to-be parties, then mehendi, haldi, sangeet, traditional wedding, reception, post-reception, and so many things. It's like what and all. In pre-wedding shoot, you don't know. We can't imagine what extent they go for the shoot. That itself costs more than 25 to 50,000 rupees. Whether it is required, it is your life. Try to have a good life, in your future. Try to plan something, secure something for your future, for your kids or whatever. It's become just a thing to show it off and to put it in the YouTubes, put it in the social medias, just to, it's become just a very casual thing. It's not the real marriage is happening now. So the main thing here is the awareness. The proper awareness has to be given to the youth. They have to understand whether it is required. Why we have to show all these things. Even the parents should, somewhere bring a line somewhere. No, this is where the money, whatever is saved by the parents, let it go to the education of the child, or the son or daughter. Let them have a very good future, where they need not have to struggle a lot, like, having 25 to 30, 40 lakhs of loan, and after post-marriage, 3 to 4 years, you have to pay the EMIs of that. And after that, what is the point in it? People will come, have food, they'll enjoy 1 or 2 hours, they'll go back home. Whether they will remember your wedding? No, it's just this is the thing where people have to understand. This thing has to come. Due to social media, I feel this has become more and more. The common people try to follow the celebrities, like Tata's, Birlas, okay, let me also, have such a wedding of memorable. Memory you can have with small little things also. You need not have to bring a big event to make it a memorable one. One more thing I wanted to, mention here is one more wedding happened where the venue was so beautifully decorated in Udupi, very beautifully decorated. And people started talking that the bride, what she's wearing, it's not a gold, it's a artificial 1 gram heavy jewelry. The question is there, but they were saying that it is a gold. it's artificial what she was wearing. But jewelry. What is the point? Instead of that, they could have made her to, wear a real jewelry, where somewhere in her life, it can be used as a secure property for the girl, where she need not have to, struggle. See, these are just to, just to show others that we are able to do. We are, we are of that level people. This is the trend happening, and it is. Don't know how it is going to change. Whether it is possible or not. I'm not able to, understand later in the future. And there is one more point, sir, because see, due to COVID, what happened? Many of the weddings, been cancelled only due to, they can't call their relatives, they can't gather many people, they postpone 1 year, 2 year. What is the point? At least they could have married, they could have started their life, isn't it? But these things also has happened. In COVID, some of the wedding have been done and they are happy. I met yesterday one lady, well-to-do lady. Her daughter's wedding was during COVID. And she just said, I couldn't call you. It was very small. I said, it's very good. I'm very happy. That's how it should be, So that's how we have to understand the consequences. We have to understand the life challenges. We have got many things in future to do. After marriage, our life has to be settled, secure. We've got many responsibility towards our children. Those things, the next generation, we have to teach. We have to follow some of the Western culture. This one day program, they just exchange the rings. They get married. They cut a cake. It's just maybe within 8 to 10, as one of the panelists said, it's just 8 to 10 lakhs. Within that, maybe 5 lakhs, who knows? Just 25 to 30 people will be there for the wedding. Let us follow such kind of things, and we'll make a marriage a memorable one with those sweet little things. We need not have to make it a big fat wedding. That's what my message for this matter.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Priya Darshani. And I'm sure today's program is going to be very enlightening, especially to the children who are watching the shows. They should understand what are the constraints the parents have to face because of their dreams. And those parents who are watching the show, they should also understand that just to fulfill their own egos, satisfy their own egos, they are spoiling the future of their own children by organizing the big fat Indian weddings. Thank you very much. And what Dr. Priya Darshani has mentioned about all the aspects, and she says, even during COVID, how the marriages were postponed, why they were postponed. They should have done the marriage with 1 or 2 or very few relatives, and at least they can start but because they were waiting to give a grand party, to organize in a grand way, which is also, it shows that there is no love and affection. It is just a show off. So all those things, and she has given, although I can tell Dr. Priya Darshani, the candid photography goes in lakhs and lakhs of rupees, pre-wedding shoot, post-wedding shoot, whatnot. So many things are happening. And as Advocate Banga says, yes, there's again an industry, very huge industry as far as the photography is concerned. But whether we have to continue this type of tradition in our society or not, we have to think seriously. Thank you very much, Dr. Priya Darshani, for giving your views. Now my question goes to Advocate Jain. Advocate Jain, when we know these things is not good, one point. Second is why it is not good for the society. It is giving a wrong message because, as one of the panelists say, 80% are struggling. Those who have not that much money, but they are borrowing money and they for the wedding of their children. Secondly, what we are seeing, that the black money, as one of the panelists mentioned, everything is 10% or 20% is cash by check, everything is by cash. Thirdly, those brokers are coming, like you have also mentioned, those marriage bureau, and Advocate Banga has given one more dimension that they are doing even for the settlement. Now the third dimension has come. Now the same bureau is coming out with the .2, Shadi.2. So means first get married, get divorced, we will help you in that. That again we will charge, settling the thing. Then we will get you a remarriage again, maybe very soon, where Shadji dot 3, 4, 5, 6. What we are looking, why the government, why the courts are silent on this? This is an evil. We cannot term that this is something anybody's wish. Anybody's wish doesn't mean that they will show off like this and they are going to poison the society. This is like a slow poison which is spreading across the society. It's evil. So, Advocate Jain, being a legal luminary, why, and you are a PIL expert, why no such type of PIL should be filed properly? That why, like in COVID, we have seen restriction 20, 50, 100. People married, many people married. They are also very happy. And I'm sure so much money has been saved. And as you have said, and others have said, if you are saving money, donate to some underprivileged if you are having surplus funds. But don't do like this, that just to show off. I will give an example of Mr. Sushil Modi. At that time, he was the Deputy Chief Minister of Bihar. In the wedding of his son or daughter, that I can't remember, he asked every guest, whosoever were coming, to fill up the organ donation pledge form. Organize this. I am sure the number of invitees, especially in South India, will drop. Nobody would like to pledge. Nobody means many of them doesn't want to pledge their organs. So do something legally so that the curb should be there. This expenditure, which is number 2, everybody knows it's all mainly number 2, to be curbed, the social evil to be curbed. And one more point what Dr. Hassan has mentioned about the pressure, the mental disturbance, the mental tension which the bride is taking, as well as she mentioned about the gold they are in. I have seen the gold, the weight of the gold which a bride wears, especially in South India. And to face 10,000 people who are coming and just giving blessings, although I could think they're not giving any envelope here, they are just giving blessing with the rice or something. Tell me what will be their life? So, Advocate Jain, what you say about this, that why not some law should be there to curb and fix up the number of invitees and number of expenditure, like you have expenditure limit of a MLA or MP who is fighting for MLA or MP. Similarly, for the wedding, there should be a curb that this is the limit, 5 lakhs or 10 lakhs or 2 lakhs is the limit, not more than that. What do you say about this, Advocate Jain?
Mr. Goel, I fully agree with you that the legislature or the judiciary should intervene. Point is, but we have to create an environment where people are prepared to accept such laws, whether judge made or whether parliament made or the legislature made. Because social practices need some change in the mindset of the society. Without bringing or creating an atmosphere where they are prepared to accept the change in the law, if law thrust upon them may not be accepted by them, may be rejected. Ultimately, it will be a law not only in books, not only in the rule book, but being complied with. Because the implementation and compliance of the law is the most important part of a law. Therefore, we need to discuss it in various forums, in the various society organizations, various levels, to create an environment where the judges may come forward to give directions, where the parliament or the state legislatures may make laws. But it cannot be disputed, it cannot be gainsaid that such kind of law is the need of the hour, where people are, because of this show business, because of this competition, as stated by Madam Ruksana, that this competitive world in marriages has to end. We have to see for the ultimate welfare of the children, the girl and the boy and the family, not to borrow money, spend for a night or for 2 days, and then to remain burdened and indebted all the time to come. Okay. Therefore, the judiciary or legislature should intervene, make law but we need to prepare ground for that so that society accepts that.
Okay, thank you, Advocate Jain. Dr. Ruksan Hassan, Advocate Jain mentioned that the society should accept. It is because the majority weddings are of Hindus, because Hindus are in majority. But if it is in the case of minority, the law is very clear that they can impose anything without taking their social, like hijab. Okay, we have seen how they are imposing to the young girls. Don't you think the law is required to be equal, seems to be equal, and it should not be partial for minority or for the majority? And when they know that this is something, they should come with a strict thing. It has to be followed, means followed, like COVID. They have asked us to lock down. We have to lock down. Where is the question of social awareness? If the social awareness will take 100 or 200 or 300 days, why? Why we require social awareness? When you can lock down everyone, why? When the government, if anybody says the government or the judiciary doesn't have power, it's false. They have all the powers. They must come out with a strong thing. No fat wedding is required. Only this much expenditure is fixed. Whosoever is rich, poor, they cannot exceed that limit. And so it has. What you say about this, Dr. Ruksana?
Sir, a very good question. I would like to say again with an example, unless and until you're not fined. I don't know. I don't like to wear a helmet, because when I see a cop and I see, he's going to fine me, I wear a helmet. So it should be the same thing. Whoever spends one particular amount for one wedding should give that kind of taxes, where they should have the fear that much more than the expenditure you are paying the taxes. Because if anything we Indians don't like is paying tax. So you tax them. And now previously, sir, in the 90s and early 2000, the thing was, we were fighting about the dowry system. But today, I am willing to give more dowry than the boys demand. So today there is no demand, but there is lot of supply. So this is the change what has happened, and this is not a change that all of a sudden that it has been. I think over a period of time, in a year, if there are 300 weddings, and then you can see the next year the weddings have been more refined. As Priya Darshan was telling about the post and about the pre-wedding shoot, about the post-wedding. All this is a newly cultivated culture where we are not knowing, we are not aware about it. So all these things we have learned without anything. So especially we Indians are very, very fast in picking up, copying things. It is very easy. Previously, in those days when my mother got married or when I got married, nikah was the only thing what we were concentrating after the nikah. Even for the nikah, it is only a tea party, not even the thing. That was the thing. Those days, the nikah used to take place from 4 o'clock to 6 o'clock. So we have forgotten, and we are the people who have cultivated and created this, and we are allowing our children to be punished for this.
Okay.
We have to take it. There is no such question of awareness, sir.
Okay. Thank you, Dr. Ruksana. Now my question goes to Advocate Banga. Advocate Banga, you mentioned about how the people are calling the celebrities for Sangeet, etc. And we know, and you also mentioned that earlier, the family members, they used to sit with the dholak, singing folk songs, etc., etc. Right now, as I asked Advocate Jain also, why not we make a law that court marriage is must? Because legally also, many times we face that where is the proof whether wedding took place or not during the divorce cases, and then the invitation cards, and they say no second marriage or first marriage or third marriage. Somebody claims that the child belongs to this gentleman, and we have marriage court in the temple. So court marriage can be must for each and everyone, that one should go for the court marriage, as well as one small ceremony in their own religion, whether it's a temple, gurudwara, mosque or church, wherever they can have. Don't you think this will become an ideal thing for everyone, that you are going for a court marriage and afterwards or before, whatsoever it suits, for a small gathering of a family or whatsoever in your own religion place, in spite of doing such type of big fat wedding, decorations and sites and hotels and whatnot. What do you say about this, Advocate Banga?
Yes, Goelji, already registration of marriage has become mandatory. There is a Delhi Registration of Marriage Act also is there. So now it is mandatory within 60 days of marriage, but that is just the registration. It is not the solemnization of marriage in the court. It is registration of marriage in the court, which can happen after any ceremony in Gurdwara or Arya Samaj Mandir, or afterwards its registration happens. However, so that legislation is already done. Now, if we talk about curbing on the amount of expenses, amount of money to be spent in a marriage, or the number of people to be invited in a marriage, that is a very, very personal thing. How it can be implemented is through the income tax, as Dr. Hassan was saying, through levying taxes on people. But again, that is the practice of underbilling will never let that thing come forward. So, but it is a very personal thing, that celebration is a very, very personal thing. How a legislature would come and say that you can't call these many people. I have witnessed even in COVID, when there was a restriction of only 100 people, but that also people twisted. It was 100 people at a time. So they were giving the time slots to people, and in a wedding, 500 people have attended the wedding, but in a different time slot. So the wedding continued rather for the whole day. So when laws come, then people find out.
Okay.
Okay,
Advocate Banga.
It is just that.
Sorry.
It is just that if again, I am stressing on that point. If marriage counseling, pre-marriage counseling, post-marital counseling, definitely when dispute occurs, then counseling is mandatory in courts. If pre-marriage counseling becomes a structured thing, then everything can be talked about. And if registration of marriage is made compulsory, then giving the declaration on the expenses incurred by both the parties, if that becomes necessary, then also it will help curbing the expenses on big fat Indian weddings.
Okay, although Advocate Banga, I don't think even whatsoever tax you will put, as you said, first thing is that people would like, and then those who are doing the big fat wedding, they know how to manipulate the taxation things, and as well as if they have to pay tax, what difference it makes. Even 33% taxes somewhere or 28% taxes, people pay, but if they have to show off by borrowing money. Thank you very much, Advocate Banga. Now my question goes to Dr. Priya Darshani. Dr. Priya Darshani, what about this? We are talking of sustainability. Where is the eco? Where is the environment? So much food is wastage. So much food is wastage in all the weddings. What for? I'm asking those people, those parents, if they have no conscience, they don't know what is the condition of. One side we say we have to proudly say the Vande Mataram or Jai Hind, and we have to stand in the national anthem. One side we want to show patriotism. Where is your patriotism? We have so much hunger. We have so much, people are dying, and you are spending money. It's a vulgar exhibition of your wealth just to satisfy your own ego. Why not? Why not those environmental activists? Why not those activists who are saying that we are very much active in the social things? Come forward and protest against those weddings which are taking place in any of the city. They says no. Similarly, the youth. Why not the youth says, the bride or bridegroom says, we do not want this fat wedding. Then only the change will come. If the government is not bringing the change, if the court is not bringing, let the society will revolt. Society will say, we don't want this. And those people who are not having, those who doesn't have these things, they should understand that by borrowing money for this evil, I will say it's an evil. If you are spending more than your capacity, you are killing your own future. You are killing your future of the children whom you think that you are going to give happiness. You are not giving happiness. Rather, you are providing them the poison in this form. What do you say about this, Dr. Priya Darshan?
In this matter, it's always better when the kids are small, when the children are, in a younger stage itself, it is always better to make them understand by small things. For example, when our children are within 10 years old, what they expect is their birthday to be, celebrated in a good way, calling their friends and all. What we can do is what I had done during my 10th birthday of my daughter. She wanted to have it in a little grand way since it is 10 years. Okay, then we thought, okay, let's all call some of our relatives and all. But I wanted to make it very sure that your function is in the evening, birthday will be in the evening, but we are going to donate food for 50 people in the orphanage. And I started that, and I strongly stood with my daughter. I said, this is, if you are ready to do with the whatever we parents, we are ready to do with this. And where I felt, she also felt so happy going to the orphanage and giving 50 people food, serving food to those people, and evening having a party. She felt very happy, and she told her friends also. That's how we keep doing this. Every time whenever we do the birthdays, we try. So what happens is, they will, when they are young, they'll have it in their mind that we have to do something towards the society when we celebrate. Even they have rights to do. We should make them, feel special. That blessing matters us a lot. That blessing, when you get married, also continue. Some functions you do for yourself, you at least share little bit for someone. That thinking has to be built up in the younger age itself. Maybe some difference can happen. That's what I feel, sir.
Okay, thank you very much, Dr. Priya Darshan. So viewers, we have seen today that the big fat Indian wedding which we are talking, for what? Just to show off? Is it like a film, like a movie, that it's just all artificial characters? No, they are real characters. They are the real people who are existing in our society. But they are not understanding one thing, what they are doing, what they are leaving the mark to the society. They are creating such a bad impact on the society, which they will, if they are not understanding today, they will understand tomorrow. When their grandchildren or their children of this generation who are married, they will ask more big fat wedding than their own wedding which they have done. What is going to happen at that time? How much money you will borrow? The condition and the wastage of food. So much food, which is in North India, so much food items. In South India, so many guests. Why? Why not a simple thing, which we have seen in COVID? If anybody argues that, no, it's not possible, why it is not possible? In COVID, we have seen 50 people, 100 people. Yes, there are black sheep. There are, I must say, vultures, or those who are the bad spot on our society who try to tweak the law. But this is not the correct thing. We have to understand, after all, if you are a real patriot, if you proudly say that you are an Indian, please see to it that you should not go for a big fat wedding, either for your children or for your grandchildren. If you cannot curb this, then otherwise don't claim that you are a very big Indian or you are proudly say that you are an Indian. Thank you very much. And today's program has been live telecasted by V4 News, Caru News, V4 Stream, Malnadu TV India, News Gaon se, Samvad Sarokar News, Bharat Post News, Gyan, as well as it was shown live on Facebook and YouTube. And I must give thanks to Advocate Jain, Advocate Nidhi Banga, Dr. Ruksan Hassan and Dr. Priya Darshan for giving their views. And one thing is very clear, viewers, that the views are against this, the fat big. You have the wedding, please have the weddings, no doubt about it. Keep it a pious way, keep it in such a loving way that all the family members, all very near and dear, if they are coming to you, they will enjoy. Otherwise, try one thing only, ask for an organ, and see how many of those 10,000 who are attending, or even your family members who claim to come to your wedding and who says that why you are not invited, ask that you require a kidney and how many of them come forward to donate you. If not, then why to invite them? Thank you very much, and thank you the viewers for watching our show. Thank you very much.